Yeah, obviously it wasn't a good night for me. It's a pretty off night. Rolly did what he does. Took a lot of good power shots, caught me in the second round. But just even in the start of the fight, it just didn't feel like my feet were under me, like I had anything. But I tried to fight through it, and just found myself very off after the year layoff.
The boxing world is abuzz following Ryan Garcia's unexpected defeat to Rolando Rolly Romero in Times Square on May 2nd, 2025. This event, dubbed Fatal Fury in Times Square, has elicited a plethora of reactions across social media, news outlets, and from fellow celebrities. Below is a comprehensive compilation of the most pertinent and recent responses to this shocking outcome.
That whole year, it was a lot for me mentally, as you guys know. So the fact that I got here is, and I'm in the position I am, my mind is as clear as it is a victory for me, I would say. But I'm extremely disappointed in the way I fought, and it definitely isn't my best.
In a stunning boxing upset in Times Square, Rolando Rolly Romero defeated Ryan Garcia by unanimous decision, marking the biggest win of Romero's career. In a recent wave of boxing matchups, Rolly Romero emerged as a notable winner by defeating Ryan Garcia and claiming a secondary belt at 147 pounds.
But thank you guys, and I want to thank my fans and everybody that stood by me, even though we took it out today, and the people that came to watch me. A lot of love is out there for me, and that I'll be.
Just sort of take on the whole city. I'm wondering if maybe had that been a full arena, maybe fans chanting, would it have done something different? It kind of seemed like a little quiet.
Yeah, I didn't really, wasn't a fan of that at all. It felt like a sparring match, and it felt like you could hear everybody, and it just didn't feel authentic to me. But, no excuses. It is what it is. I mean, that's just part of just me not, being as sharp as I could be. I just didn't really throw anything, to be honest. I mean, I was just throwing jabs and moving around. Didn't feel there, didn't feel there at all. It wasn't part of our game plan at all. Derek had a great game plan. There was a lot of opportunities there, especially when Rolly's going back. I just didn't let my hands go in any way, shape, or form. That's simple as that.
I just wanted to ask, we just saw recently Tank Lamont have a tough fight, and they had a history. Obviously, you and Rolly have had some history. We talk about the sparring, but do you think that any of that history played into tonight's outcome?
No, I just think that Rolly's much better than people give him credit for, and he has very strong hands, just solid in general, so you can't just, walk in there and he's just gonna get anything on him. He does hit hard, but I don't think the sparring played anything. I was just more of how this night played out. It's just what wasn't my night.
You underestimated it at all?
No, I always knew that he was going to be what he is. I feel like I fought the most dangerous fighter on the card. Anybody with that type of power is obviously somebody you got to watch out for. But I thought Rolly was going to be Tank. Just think I just didn't do anything I should have done.
Do you feel now in this moment that a rematch with Rolly is more important than a rematch with Devin, or vice versa?
Oh man, that's a good question. Whatever the fans want. They want me to, run it back with Rolly, let's do it. They want me to go straight for Devin, let's do it. Styles make fights. And I'm willing to train him again.
You're committed for the way you conducted yourself in the middle of this fight, so the outcome's a bit ironic. What do you feel like you need to change? In the ring, outside the ring, to build up for whatever this fight?
I think it's just both, combination of both. Throughout the camp, just couldn't get anything going, I felt, for myself in training camp. I didn't feel like I had more conditioning or more energy or more sharp. I just feel like I couldn't. Nothing was progressing in any way, and I just felt weird and off. And I would mention it to Derek, and we were just trying to figure it out. But we only had 5 weeks together, and it's just one of those things where I was like, man, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I can't get no, I guess progressive, sharpness coming into camp. I don't know why it's not picking up. We still were confident. We're training. It's just Nothing clicked. Just nothing was clicked.
Last one for me. You're knocked out, gotten up before. Is this the hardest you've been hit at 147?
No. I feel like most I ever been dazed was with Luke Campbell. I was actually dizzy with Luke Campbell getting up, but with Rolly's I wasn't dizzy. I was just like, oh, there it goes again. All the cabins again. But it doesn't really I don't really get too out of it. I'm just right there. It's always a flash knockdown for some reason and I get right back up. But, he had potential to hit the hardest though. He definitely has some power on him.
Ryan, do you feel like maybe with ring rust, obviously the whole
It was just so weird because usually once you step in the ring, everything fades away. This time I went into the ring and I could hear everybody just screaming stuff and I'm just I don't know why I didn't zone it out. It was weird. It just felt like a weird fever dream just happened. It was just so awkward. I don't know why. Usually fights don't feel that way. It just feels like you're in it and you're fighting. You don't hear nobody, nothing. So yeah, that was a little different. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I was staying welterweight. I don't really feel too much different because 60, so it's not really too much of a difference for me. But today I didn't feel good at all, obviously. But as far as did I feel any different or just weight-wise, maybe a little slower? I don't know.
And if it's not a rematch with Devin or Rolly, would you consider counter events? It's also coming off a loss and a good performance. And you guys feel very
Like I said, whatever the fans want, and I've always been open to fight anybody, so however the fans want. Yeah, it was at the hotel.
I mean, I'm on the tip from the hotel getting to the rehab.
It's kind of it really didn't make sense because one of our big concerns was going to ice him down, but exactly. I'm talking about too much time in between us working out. You're supposed to stay fresh.
Yeah, you gotta be fresh. You gotta go more.
I'm not saying that's the reason. I'm just saying that that's the icing you out. It's too much. So yeah, well, you can go ahead and answer, but I talked to him about it. Right.
I didn't know. I thought it was closer to the arena than. Because I didn't really watch the entrances and how long it was taking. I was just kind of watching fights, but I was like, damn, I'm in this Batmobile forever. And the gas smelled crazy in that vehicle. I was just like, damn, it's taking forever.
It's only put out an amazing fight. We all know that. Both guys. I mean, he caught you right there in the second round. He was off, like you said. He was off.
Alright, I'm going to take it works out very different. Do you feel like you have the motivation to pursue fighting at the elite level?
Of course, we all go through these moments. It's still a fresh wound. I just lost. I'm not gonna sound excited to go after anybody right now. And I had an extremely off night. I fought in my eyes horrible. So I'm not gonna be sounding any type of happy in any way.
And in the Devin Haney fight, you was I don't know, friend, maybe little unprofessional, quote unquote, very whatever. Professional best you ever had. And now you're just really calm and chill with it. You think you probably can go to I can turn back up
Tequila helps you not be well, right? Yeah. That's funny, bro. Imagine just knock out tequila, start a brand. It's just I gotta figure it out up here. Mentality, because there's times where I felt like I fought good and I wasn't acting like that, right? Just a lot of stuff I gotta figure out mentally, and then I'll get back to it, and you'll see that aggression come out. I just didn't have that, tonight. Just didn't have that aggression to go kill. You gotta have that in the ring. Just didn't have that tonight, so we'll figure it out.
Just walking us the whole 12 rounds and nothing out.
He's strong, he has good left hook. One time he opened up, I cracked him and he didn't open up at all the rest of the fight. They're always gonna underrate me because I'm not one of these prospects that started boxing that had a following and all stuff. They're fresh out the amateurs, they promoted them oh, this is the next big thing, yada yada yada, all that stuff. At the end of it, I've done this 3 times, 3 different divisions. I'm a 3-time world champion, and this might actually be the biggest, the most attended fight. I did it on this night. Weird, shoot much that. And the whole boxing commission sees my massage for literally massaging it for the next, so it might have made it a little weaker. He didn't take. He didn't. After I dropped him, he did not take a single risk.
I'm saying, like, I didn't really catch him with his best punch, but you were ahead with his best.
Don't hook with a hooker.
Rolly, Kevin Garcia with FightHype. After your last few fights before this one, the Barboza fight, the Pitbull fight, people started talking about you in a different way. You know, maybe put you in a position that you were a gatekeeper or something like that. What do you think this fight means, and what kind of statement does it make for you to be Ryan Garcia in the fashion you did?
Let me dismiss everything with Barroso. Barroso is still by far the hardest hitter I've ever been in a ring with. I got him on a 2-week notice. I was getting ready for Puello. You get a complete opponent change. You know, Puello's not known really as a puncher. You get a dude that literally has 24 wins and 22 knocks. And I still adjusted little by little off after a whole year layoff in a new weight division. Everyone, you guys don't, and then he goes on and knocks out O'Hara Davis. Everyone thinks that he's going to give Barroso a problem. He knocks him out in the first round because I called it. I even told O'Hara, I'm like, don't jump in. This dude can crack. And guess what? They stopped the fight a slight bit premature when he was about to get knocked out cold. Give me my credit. I'm not making you money.
Rolly, did you feel disrespect like all week long with Ryan Garcia talking about this rematch, right? It's kind of you, and how much did that possibly motivate you?
I mean, they can have a rematch. Clearly, if they were talking about it over and over and over and over and over again, right? They already had it planned and lined up. Why am I going to get in the way of that? That has nothing to do with me. I'm a 3-division world champion now. I knew he wasn't going to throw no more damn punches. He was not going to take a single risk from me. He knows I can crack.
In all, you was training at Mendes boxing gym. How did you feel, Mendes?
Man, I would give a huge shout out, man. They were over there. They turned the heater up on me. They watched me fix the last bit of weight and all that stuff, you know, and they treated me really nice. I don't care what happens next right now. The only thing I care about is going on a nice vacation.
What was the game plan?
I'm not going to give you guys a hint of the secret to beating him.
Were you looking for that hook? Did you set that out intentionally?
Well, he opens up every time he throws a hook, so you see he didn't throw no more hooks after that.
After you knocked him down?
He did not throw any more hooks after that. Because that's his money punch.
Were you surprised at his lack of output? Do you think that you were going to get more fight out of Ryan Garcia tonight?
Everyone that fights me has a lack of output. Every single time they throw too many punches, they get cracked.
What are you looking at?
I don't box for money. I boxed to be world champion. I just did it 3 times.
Woo! You looking forward for it?
Of course.
Where do you see that for?
We gotta see. Just be patient.
Taking advantage of it, you remember from the last time you guys were in the ring.
If me and Ryan had 0 in history, he would have got knocked out cold. He knew better than to come at me throwing punches. Like I said, I haven't thought that far ahead. Every champion at 147. There's Brian Norman, Booth now who has 2 belts, and I mean, I'm sure Barrios has a fight line.
Give me the toughest fight.
All 3 of them are tough. Every single one of them. So, like I said, we shall see.
7 years ago, you predicted this fight. You said, I'm fighting a FIFA, one of the biggest fights in boxing history. How did you?
But I'm gonna say this. I said that me and Ryan, we were both at 35, right? And everyone's like, oh, you guys gonna make the fight? I'm like, hell no. He's like, well, what about 140? I'm like, fuck that no-name division. So we went up to, and I said we're gonna make it a 147. It's gonna be the biggest fight in boxing history, and this is by far the most attended fight in boxing history. And he just run. I don't know, bro. Like, I'm trying to warm up for a fight, bro. I don't need to be falling asleep.
Change your opinion of the rematch between Haney and Garcia?
I don't care about their rematch. Why do you people keep bringing it up? I don't care.
Rolly, talk about this, the feeling of redemption. You know, Ryan mentioned that your chin hasn't been the same since Javante. You know, obviously a big fight with Javante, a big fight with Pitbull didn't go your way.
I mean, clearly both those fights, I was completely weight trained. Javante, I was completely weight trained. I'm sure you guys all saw me. And at 140, my body clearly outgrew that weight division as well. When I was a 35 pounder, I should have been a 40 pounder. When I was a 40 pounder, I should have been a 47 pounder. I mean, who was the one that was happy after the fight? And who was the one that looked all sad? And honestly, though, I mean, they fucked up the damn scorecards, though. That was a shutout. They really fucked up them damn scorecards. It was a shutout. In Abram, but we always played the Vietnamese card game. There's a boba shop that we used to go to, right? And the owner was Vietnamese, so he showed us how to play this Vietnamese card game called 13 and years, you know?
You obviously got the being grown PBC fighter today. How does that make you feel?
I mean, PBC is my family. It's not even about boxing. They're my family. I feel no pressure, because I know they're always going to accept me for anything, anyone.
Hey, Ryan,
Stay positive.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody.